Good morning. Welcome to Lambton County Council, November 27th. I'd ask Ms. Leger to take the roll call, please.
Thanks, Warden Marriott. Councillor Agar. Councillor McEwen for Councillor Atkinson. Councillor Bouchy. Councillor Bradley.
Present online.
Councillor Broad.
Present.
Councillor Case. Present. Councillor Cook. Present. Councillor Dennis. Present. Councillor Ferguson. Present. Councillor Hand. Present. Councillor Loosely. Present. Councillor McRoberts. Present. Councillor Miller. Present. Councillor Sageman. Present. Councillor Veen. Present. Deputy Warden White. Present. And Warden Marriott. Present. We have quorum.
We acknowledge that this land on which we are gathered today is part of the ancestral land of the Chippewa, Odawa, and Potawatomi peoples, referred to collectively as the Anishinabeg. It is through the connection of the Anishinabeg with the spirit of the land, water, and air that we recognize their unique cultures, traditions, and values. Together as treaty people, we have a shared responsibility to act with respect for the environment that sustains all life, protecting the future for those generations to come. I'd ask any member of council to declare a pecuniary interest now or where it may arise during the meeting. Item number 5, I'd like to congratulate Kevin Churchill and welcome him to his new role as General Manager, Public Health Services Division, effective Tuesday, November the 12th, following Andrew Taylor's retirement. Please welcome Kevin Churchill. I'd look for a motion to go in camera for the reasons noted on the agenda. Councillor Loosely and Deputy Warden White seconds. All in favor? That's carried. And we'll be in Committee Room 3 to the right. Welcome back. I'd ask everyone to join me for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. Item number 9, I'd ask Ms. Leger to rise and report from in camera, please.
Yes, thank you, Warden Marriott. I can report that Lambton County Council met in camera this morning for a few minutes to address 2 matters. First being to review and approve the County Council minutes from November 6, 2024. Secondly, to review and approve the Committee of the Whole closed session minutes from November 20th, 2024, which included receiving a report and providing instructions with respect to negotiations between the county and a third party relating to a property located in the city of Sarnia.
Thank you very much. Item number 10, donor recognition. We know firsthand the benefit of living in a community that cares. Approximately 1,500 donors give annually to enhance many of the programs and services provided by the county. These charitable gifts help provide the high quality and affordable services that respond to the needs of our community. These are some of the various generous donations made this year. The Seaway Kiwanis Club of Sarnia donated $10,000 to Lambton Circles, which was used towards post-secondary school supply costs for Circles families. The Villa Auxiliary, Lodge Auxiliary, and Manor Auxiliary all continued to provide incredible support for their respective homes. Don and Ann McGugan donated $5,000 to the Adult Day program. Carpenter's Local 1256 Industry Fund donated $7,290 to the Homelessness Prevention Department to help individuals and families experiencing homelessness locate and maintain long-term housing. Imperial Oil continued their support of the elders and families at Marshall Golan Manor with several donations made to the home. The Judith and Norman Alex Art Gallery received several gifts to the collection, including a donation from Stephen Digman valued at $22,650 and John Hartman for $20,000, Nico Williams for $15,000, and Clara Zelenak for $34,800. On behalf of Lambton County Council, I would like to extend a sincere thank you to all the donors who have generously given to the County of Lambton this year. Please show your appreciation. Item number 11, delegations. I'd look for a motion to allow today's delegation presenters to come forward. Deputy Warden White moves, Councillor Dennis seconds. All in favor? That's carried. Christina Stalmak, leader of 2 Polish book clubs, Barbara Formuziak, member of the book club Selenak, will be presenting to Council regarding the Trails of Hope, Odyssey of Freedom exhibit in the history of Polish immigration to Lambton County. A small exhibit will be on display in the front lobby as well. Welcome.
Warden Marriott, councillors, we are here to draw your attention to the exhibit Trails of Hope, Odyssey of Freedom, and to talk about the Polish immigrants who have settled in Lambton County. Wars, political turmoil, and fear of persecution push victims to search for a safe place to live. Canada is known to the world as a country of immigrants. In Lambton, 10% of the county's population was born beyond Canada's borders. In fact, we have over 3,000 citizens with Polish roots. My friend and I came to Canada in the 80s and are part of the post-Solidarity wave of immigration. However, we will not be talking about us. Instead, we would like to pay tribute to the immigrants who came here before and shortly after Second World War, and how they built their lives in Lambton and Sarnia to give us an example of true solidarity. Most Polish Canadians who arrived in Sarnia in the 30s relocated from different parts of Canada. Sarnia at that time, with its population of 18,000, offered jobs at the port, the Imperial Oil Plant, a salt industry, and a huge grain elevator. Most Polish immigrants found employment at the Holmes Foundry. They organized themselves very quickly, and on the 15th of November 1936, Branch 14 of the Polish Alliance was established in Sarnia with 30 members. A huge wave of Polish immigration of over 61,000 swept Canada between 1946 and 56. Soldiers, pilots, prisoners of war, prisoners of concentration camps, orphans and civilians from refugee camps, all displaced people who were afraid to go back to Poland because they were expecting repressions, or simply because their home, after shifting Poland's borders, was situated in the Soviet Union. The first soldiers from Anders' army came to Halifax on November 11, 1946, on the ship straight from Italy, where they took part in fighting along with the Allied forces in Italian campaign. Ships in the fall of 46 and the spring of 47 brought 4,527 former Polish soldiers to Canada. Single men who were relocated to work on farms. In Lambton, 7 soldiers were assigned to work on 7 different farms. My stepfather, Jan Pradyszczak, was taken to one farm close to Alvinston. He, like the others, was granted only temporary entry to Canada to work on his pre-assigned farm for 2 years. Afterwards, he had to reapply for permanent residency and was free to move to the city to find another employment. The new immigrants were very active in building their social life on Canadian soil. In the 50s, the Polish Hall was built and Polish Church was built. As soon as newcomers had a place to meet and place to pray, social and cultural life blossomed. It was important for new immigrants to not only work and provide for their families, but also to celebrate Polish traditions and customs, to join and create Polish cultural events, to practice their faith in Polish, to preserve the Polish language. To the above, the post-Solidarity immigrants, these from 80s, added integration with Canadian society and sharing with them our heritage. This is why we are reaching out to wider audience, telling our stories and putting exhibits up at a shopping mall, schools, libraries, and so on. We want to educate not only about the achievement of Poles, but also the ties between two countries. Not long ago, we learned that two museums, one in Oil Springs and one in Bóbrka, Poland, joined together to attempt to receive the UNESCO designation for their oil discovery sites. We wrote an article to the Polish Monthly so all Polish Canadians in Ontario could cheer these attempts. I would like to draw your attention to the display, which we have installed in this building. The exhibition Trails of Hope, Odyssey of Freedom is an international project carried out by the Institute of National Remembrance in Poland. This traveling display arrived to Canada 2 years ago. It has already visited a number of major cities. Thanks to the collaboration of 3 Polish organizations in Sarnia, Branch 14 of Polish Alliance, CWL, and Polish Book Club, we were able to bring it from the Polish consulate to Lambton at the end of October, and since then have been showing this exhibit at different organizations and institutions. To date, over 500 Lambton's residents have viewed this display. We are also planning for a few stops at Sarnia high schools. Now, we gladly answer any questions you may have, and after this meeting, we also will be available to give a tour of the exhibit and ask you for comments and talk with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. Are there any questions for the ladies? Seeing none, thank you for your presentation.
Okay.
Thank you. Item number 12, minutes of open session council of November the 6th. I look for a motion to approve those. Councillor Cook and Councillor Hand seconds. All in favor? That's carried. Item number 13, Board of Health. Dr. Dewick, please. Item A is correspondence to be received and filed. Unless there's any discussion, look for a motion. Councillor Miller and Councillor Case, seconds. All in favor? That's carried. Board of Health information reports. There are 2 of these to receive and file as well. Councillor Veen moves. Councillor Ferguson seconds. Any discussion? All in favor? It's carried. Is there any other business for the Board of Health today? Seeing none, thank you, Dr. Dewick. Item number 14, correspondence. Councillor Dennis.
I would ask that items 1, 2, 4 be made into a motion for our staff report. Do I have a seconder?
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Bushi seconds. Discussion. Councillor Hand.
Sorry. I'm not sure why this motion is coming to County Council, because it's up to the individual municipalities to be responsible for their water. So it's not a county decision, it's a municipal decision.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Councillor Cook.
I would just ask for a recorded vote, please.
Okay. Any other discussion? We'll call the question. Clerk. Sure, Councillor Dennis.
I know that Sarnia had this discussion quite a while back. I wasn't on council at the time. I know it was. I know that experts were brought in, and actually, the expert from Calgary was brought in, and the council of the day ignored his expertise or his recommendations. I noticed that the city of Montreal is now taking fluoride out of their water. And I know that the United States, under their new secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is stated that he intends to take fluoride out of the freshwater drinking system in the United States. The science shows it's very, very dangerous. It should not be in our water system. The science is there to prove it.
Okay, Councillor Hand.
So as a member of laws, including the city of Sarnia, we didn't ignore any evidence that was put forward. There was evidence on both sides, and a decision was made at that time. So it wasn't a matter of ignoring experts. There was experts talking the issue both sides. Also note that the city of Calgary took the fluoride out of their system, I believe it was 2011, and in January it's going back in.
Councillor Dennis.
To be perfectly honest with you, I think the committee was paying more attention to the political science and not the real science. Thank you.
Okay, we'll call the question if the random... Oh, sorry, Councillor Bradley, you have your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I had intended to enter into this discussion, but this has popped up every number of years. And I want to point out that in Sarnia's case, fluoride was put in by a plebiscite. And if people want to remove it, there is a process to follow to do that. It just takes a bit of work. And I think since it came in by a plebiscite, it should go out by a plebiscite. And when we tried this a number of years ago, because we got six member municipalities, it was defeated. And this, as I agree totally with Mayor Hand, this is not a county council discussion. It belongs to the laws board, and it belongs with the member municipalities of laws if they wish to proceed or not. So I certainly will not be supporting this motion.
Okay, Ms. Leger, please.
Yes, thank you, Warden Marriott. The motion on the floor, starting with Councillor Dennis, requested by Councillor Cook, is seeking a staff report with respect to paragraphs 1 to 4 included on this correspondence 11, 13, 24. And again, we're starting with Councillor Dennis. I have a yes. Councillor Ferguson? No. I have a no. Councillor Hand? No. I have a no. Councillor Loosely? No. I have a no. Councillor McRoberts? No. I have a no. Councillor Miller? I have a no. Councillor Sageman? No. I have a no. Councillor Veen? I have a no. Deputy Warden White? I have a no. Councillor Agar? No. I have a no. Councillor McEwen? No. I have a no. Councillor Bushi? No. I have a no. Councillor Bradley?
No.
I have a no. Councillor Broad?
No.
I have a no. Councillor Case? No. I have a no. Councillor Cook? No. I have a no. Warden Marriott? No. I have a no. That motion is defeated.
Okay, item number 15, information reports. I'm sorry, yes, we go back to 14. We need a motion to receive and file now that it's been defeated. Councillor Loosely and Councillor Case seconds, all in favor. That's carried. Item number 15, information reports. We have one report regarding the inaugural meeting and council process for December the 4th. Councillor Sageman moves and Deputy Warden White seconds, all in favor. That's carried. Item number 16, items not requiring a motion, the Sarnia-Lambton Economic Partnership Board minutes dated September the 24th. I look for a motion. Councillor Miller moves and Councillor Cook seconds, all in favor. That's carried. Item number 17, reports requiring a motion. Report regarding Source Protection Committee appointment of the Lambton County nominee. Any questions or a motion for both recommendations? Councillor Sageman moves. Councillor Loosely seconds. Any discussion? Councillor Loosely.
Thank you, Warden Marriott. And it's just on regards to Schedule A. Please note, it's not the township of Petrolia, it's the town of Petrolia.
Duly noted. Thank you. Okay, noted, Councillor McEwen. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Item number 18, Committee of the Whole of November the 20th. I'll go through the motions. Motion 1 was under Infrastructure and Development Services, correspondence to receive and file. Item number 2 was also under Infrastructure, correspondence that was received and filed. Number 3 was information reports from Infrastructure and Development. Number 4 was a report regarding the primary public safety answering point service agreement renewal. Motion number 5 was under Public Health Services Division, an information report on the emergency medical services. And number 6 was under Cultural Services, information reports. And 7 was a report regarding the Creative County Grant Program analysis. Number 8 was a report for libraries donations. Number 9 was a report regarding museums, gallery, and archives collection management. And number 10 was under Long-Term Care Division information report. Number 11 was motion correspondence to receive and file. Councillor Bradley, you have your hand up.
Yes, Mr. Warden, I'd like to recommend that if you're willing to do it yourself, the administration and any other mayor that wants to be involved, we should meet with the Anishinaabe just to discuss this further. Back when the fine system was set up, this was a big issue about receiving, because we're the only area in the province that has this type of fine money coming in. And I just met recently with Chief Nabin for a couple of hours discussing a variety of issues, and this was one of them. That's what prompted the letter. I think given the nature of the relationship that we should at least meet and talk and discuss this further. So I don't know how you want to handle this procedurally. As it was in the Committee of the Whole carried to just receive and file. So I don't know if you vote on the receive and file, and if that doesn't pass, then I can move a motion simply to set up a meeting to talk about this further.
Yeah, so we'll deal with that first. Then, like you said, we'll take a vote on the receive and file, and if that doesn't pass, then we'll deal with a separate motion. So, Deputy Warden White.
Thank you, Warden Marriott. Is there anything preventing yourself or administration from having that conversation regardless? I understand, Councillor Bradley's point that this is a very unique circumstance, and at the very least, I think those folks who are affected, as outlined in the letter, could at least be a part of the conversation.
I'll ask legal. So we'll take a vote on the receive and file, but we'll still, under advisement, we'll consider meeting with them regardless of the motion to receive and file, since it's on the agenda as it is. Is that fair to Councillor Bradley? Go ahead.
Well, I think it's important because the record a year from now, 10 years from now, will be they received and filed the request. And I go back to the land declaration that you and I both read at the beginning of the meeting. And I learned a long time ago that those could be hollow words unless you put them into action. And I think, given the nature of the relationship, and I should say that the discussions in the past were the impacted communities. It could be the First Nations, it could be St. Clair, it could be Sarnia, whoever. And so that's why we had that discussion in the past about, is there some way at least to give back some money back into the community? So I would prefer to see the receive and file defeated, and then we set up a meeting and discuss this so that we continue to develop that relationship.
Okay, Councillor Dennis.
Thank you, Warden Marriott. A relationship is a two-way street. And the new chief, I wish her all the success in the world, but she has shown, through her own actions, that she is very, very anti-Chemical Valley. She's gone to Toronto and spoke at Queen's Park. She's used words or terms like environmental terrorism.
Councillor Dennis.
Warden Marriott, I'm just being honest and upfront. I'm just saying it the way it is. People are dying for politicians to say it the way it is today. If she's mentioned about the end game is to get rid of Chemical Valley. And she went to Japan just recently for a plastics conference, and she talked about environmental terrorism. They have an end goal to get rid of Chemical Valley. Many of our constituents are employed by Chemical Valley. And it is, and quite frankly, I think it is the height of hypocrisy that Sarnia is leading this, is so I'm at a loss of words. I'm so in awe.
Let's deal with it.
They've already put INEOS out of business. We cannot keep on being weak to these people. We can't. We got to show some backbone.
Okay. So we'll take a vote. Councillor Loosley.
Thank you. I wonder, could we not just receive and file everything except for that, and then deal with that item separately? It's just a thought. No. So we could receive and file everything except that item, and then deal with it separately.
That's fair.
Okay, so we'll deal with this alone, receive and file, and we'll take the vote now. All in favor? Yes.
Can I have a recorded vote, please, Mr. Warden?
Sure.
The vote right now is to receive and file.
Yeah, the vote right now is to receive and file. Everything? No, just number 11. Okay. Just number 11. Just number 11 on its own. And we'll wait for the randomator here. Oh. Ms. Leger, please.
So the motion on the floor is to receive and file correspondence 11-13-24. The recorded vote was requested by Councillor Bradley, and we're starting with Councillor Boucher. Yes. I have a yes. Councillor Bradley?
No.
I have a no. Councillor Broad?
Yes.
I have a yes. Councillor Case?
Yes.
I have a yes. Councillor Cook?
Yes.
I have a yes. Councillor Dennis?
Absolutely.
I have a yes. Councillor Ferguson?
Yes.
I have a yes. Councillor Hand? No. I have a no. Councillor Loosely?
Yes.
I have a yes. Councillor McRoberts?
No.
I have a no. Councillor Miller?
Yes.
I have a yes. Councillor Sageman?
Yes.
I have a yes. Councillor Veen?
Yes.
I have a yes. Deputy Warden White?
No.
I have a no. Councillor Agar?
Yes.
I have a yes. Councillor McEwen? I have a yes. Warden Marriott?
Yes.
I have a yes. That motion passes.
I'll continue with motion number 12. It was under information reports regarding court services. Number 13 was a report regarding collection agency services for provincial offenses and municipal collections. Number 14 was under finance facilities and acquisitions, a report on quarter 3 budget monitoring update. Number 15 was under social services for correspondence, receive and file. 16 was a Western Wardens Caucus addressing a letter to Justin Trudeau regarding the support for Ontario Big Mayors Caucus. And number 15 was correspondence to receive and file. Sorry, I backed up there. Number 16 was County Council endorsement of the resolutions. And 17 was information reports, Social Services Division. Number 18 was in camera. 19 was in camera. And 20, and then 21 was the adjournment. So I look for a motion to receive and file the rest of these items. Councillor Ferguson, Deputy Warden White, all in favor? That's carried. Number 19, there are no items tabled from previous meetings. Number 20, no notice of motions as well. And 21, other business. I'd look for anyone that has other business. None at this time. Moves us to 22, notice of bylaws. Ms. Leger, please.
It is moved by Councillor Agar, seconded by Councillor McEwen, that bylaw 30, 31, and 32 of 2024 as circulated be taken as read as a first and second time.
All in favor? That's carried.
It is moved by Councillor Agar, seconded by Councillor McEwen, that bylaws 30, 31, and 32 of 2024 as circulated be taken as read as a third and final time.
Thank you. Before I take a motion to adjourn, this being the last meeting before elections of a week from today, I just want to thank everyone for a very fast-moving 2 years, and look forward to the last half of the 4-year election term. So, saying that, look for a motion to adjourn. The next regular council meeting will be February the 5th. As I mentioned, Warden's election is a week from today. So, motion to adjourn. Councillor Case and Councillor Hand, seconds. All in favor? That's carried. Please join me in O Canada.
O Canada.